Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Lexa Peterson, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Lieutenant Commander Jed Goggin. We warmly welcome the family of Lieutenant Thomas William Wheatley, whose story will be told shortly. We are honoured to acknowledge representatives of the United States Embassy in Canberra and the United States Marines in celebration of the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. We warmly welcome Brigadier General Fabrice Albright, Deputy Commander of the French SOCOM. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors to the memorial, and students on behalf of Our Lady of Grace School visiting from Glengarry, South Australia. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Those who are able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops at Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed at the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record that they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Lieutenant Thomas William Wheatley. Thomas Wheatley was born on the 31st of October 1906, the only son of Dawson Usman Wheatley and Minnie Angus Wheatley. He grew up in the United Kingdom alongside his sister Alice. Wheatley came to Australia as a Barwell boy, British lads who came to South Australia in the early 1920s to be apprenticed on farms throughout the state. Some 1,500 boys, most in their mid to late teens, immigrated to South Australia under the scheme devised by Liberal Premier Sir Henry Barwell to gain young men for agricultural and pastoral work, balancing the loss of some 6,000 South Australian men killed in the First World War. British support for the program was strong because of the high level of unemployment in the United Kingdom. The scheme also bolstered population numbers in Australia while not running afoul of the White Australia policy. Tom Wheatley went on to make South Australia his home, working variously as a farmer and stevedore. On the 4th of June 1932, he married Elsie May Field in Adelaide. 6 children would be born to the couple: Jill, Cloris, Jennifer, Dawson, Dennis, and Anne. Wheatley began his military career in 1930, joining the Citizens' Forces, also known as the militia, and parading part-time with the 43rd Battalion and the 13th Field Brigade. In January 1939, he became a full-time soldier, enlisting in the Permanent Military Forces, which he entered with the rank of sergeant. With the beginning of the Second World War, Wheatley was released from the Permanent Military Forces in order to enlist in the 2nd Australian Imperial Force, which he did on the 30th of May 1940. Soon promoted to Warrant Officer Class 1, he was taken on strength of the 2nd 7th Army Field Regiment Artillery and began training. After pre-embarkation leave in October 1940, Wheatley embarked on the troop ship Strathend, bound for the Middle East. Arriving in Egypt in December, he and his regiment moved to Palestine, where they trained without equipment or vehicles, which were in short supply. In April 1941, the regiment received vehicles and its first guns, a mix of antiquated 18-pounder field guns and 4.5-inch howitzers. These were replaced in July with 24 25-pounders when the regiment moved to Mersa Maltra. These guns were used against German and Italian forces to defend Tobruk. Wheatley attended the School of Artillery in July 1941, but after his regiment moved to Cairo, he left the ranks of the 2nd 7th in November. Lieutenant Wheatley would be returned to Australia on compassionate grounds. Embarking from Egypt in late May 1942, Wheatley arrived in Victoria before making his way home to South Australia. After a period of leave in late August, he was attached to Fort Largs, a coastal battery instalment with 6-inch Mark 7 naval guns near Port Adelaide. The fort featured 2-storey brick barracks for artillery use, a brick drill hall used by the militia, a kitchen and mess room, orderly room, canteen and billiards room, and administration rooms. Appointed to Adelaide Fixed Defences in late September, Wheatley was promoted to lieutenant. The following year, he served at Fort Largs and around the bay whilst attending a gas course and junior leaders school. In February 1944, Wheatley was admitted to hospital with a shoulder injury. A few months later, he was continuing to suffer with spinal and back problems and was medically classified as suitable for duties which do not entail strenuous use of the left arm. He continued to serve at Fort Largs, now posted to the Adelaide Coastal Artillery, commonly known as the Largs Battery. On the 27th of September 1944, Lieutenant Tom Wheatley was using spraying fluid to kill cockroaches in the officer's kitchen. Sergeant Lloyd Wright was working the pump as Wheatley wore a respirator and directed the hose. As Wheatley sprayed near a hot coke oven, the vapour from the spray caught alight, exploding and setting the kitchen on fire. Sergeant Wright was badly dazed, but Wheatley suffered serious second-degree burns. The only area of his body spared were where the respirator he was wearing had covered his chest and mouth. Rushed to hospital, Wheatley could not be saved. He died the following day. He was 37 years old. Survived by 6 children and a grieving widow, he was given a funeral with full military honours at Centennial Park Cemetery in Adelaide, where his remains lie today. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, amongst almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Lieutenant Thomas William Wheatley, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over, but in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post-ceremony. On behalf of our director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.